Today, I'm going to have a conversation with Melissa Cain Travis. She serves as an assistant professor of Christian apologetics at Houston Baptist University. And she is, and this is really exciting for us at the Christian Research Institute, she's a contributing writer for the Christian Research Journal, our award-winning magazine. By the way, if you have not subscribed to the magazine, you can remedy that woeful condition on the web at equip.org. Melissa is pursuing a PhD in Humanities, focusing on the history and philosophy related to scientific and mathematical thought in the Western tradition and contemporary scholarship. She's earned the Master of Arts in Science and Religion from Biola University. She's graduated that program with highest honors. She is certified in Christian apologetics by Biola and holds a Bachelor of Science in General Biology from Campbell University. She was featured alongside her colleagues in the April 2015 cover story of Christianity Today, and she has worked as a bench scientist in the fields of biotechnology and pharmaceutical research. After obtaining her undergraduate degree, and has spent more than a decade exploring the science, theology, and philosophy related to the origins debate. And on top of all of that, Melissa is the author of a brand new book, Science and the Mind of the Maker: What the Conversation Between Faith and Science Reveals About God. It is one of our featured resources during the month of June 2018. And so with all of that, I am absolutely delighted to have you on the podcast, Melissa.
Thank you, Hank. I'm so honored to be speaking with you, and I appreciate the invitation.
You make the argument in an article in the Christian Research Journal. The article's titled "What the Size of the Cosmos Doesn't Say About Mankind," but you make the argument that pop science journalism today supposes that the unraveling of geocentrism underscores the so-called Copernican principle, the principle of mediocrity. In other words, if Earth is not a privileged planet, we hear that then human beings that inhabit Earth must not be privileged either. And that's an argument that has to be dealt with today, particularly when you have people like Bill Nye, the science guy, saying, I'm insignificant, I'm just another speck of sand, and the Earth really, in the cosmic scheme of things, is just another speck, and the sun an unremarkable star, and the galaxy is a speck, and I'm therefore a speck on a speck, orbiting a speck among other specks, among still other specks in the middle of specklessness. And therefore, says Bill Nye, I suck. Talk about how flawed that reasoning is.
So, lest anyone say, well, I don't respect Bill Nye as a competent science personality, and I've heard plenty of non-theists make that statement about Bill Nye, we're also hearing very similar comments come from eminent scientists who have become popular public personalities, such as Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who was actually the host of the Cosmos miniseries reboot that came out just a couple years ago and which is entering its second season next year. So there's this idea, as you said, that because we are so small in relation to the rest of the universe, because there's so many billions or trillions of other stars and galaxies and planets out there, then that has to mean that we, by comparison, are insignificant. So the flaw in the reasoning there is that it assumes that value or significance is based on the physical size of something. And that's simply ridiculous. We could use many real-world examples to counteract that very idea. And I believe in the article I use the example of human people. So we would never say that a 50-year-old is more significant than a 5-month-old or a 5-year-old, right? It's that we are significant and valuable by virtue of the kind of thing we are. So the size of the cosmos in relation to the size of our home planet or the size of a human person is completely irrelevant. But we keep hearing this silly argument promoted over and over and over again.
Yeah, you wrote another article for the Christian Research Journal. It's called A Grand Cosmic Resonance, How the Structure and Comprehensibility of the Universe Reveal a Mindful Maker. And I oftentimes say, quoting my good friend Os Guinness, that contrast is the mother of clarity. You mentioned Neil deGrasse Tyson. He speculates that the universe just popped into existence out of nothing or is just a computer simulation. On the other hand, you have noted intellects like Albert Einstein who recognize that the materialist view of nature is inadequate for explaining why we live in a universe that is fundamentally mathematical and comprehensible. In other words, Einstein, unlike Tyson, saw the marks of intelligence in the natural order and therefore reasonably supposed that there must be something more to the world than mere matter and motion.
Right. And unfortunately, we never get a super explicit statement from Einstein affirming the existence of a creator God, much less a God who's intimately involved in the affairs of mankind, which is sad. But he hedges right up against it so many times in his writings. He would often say things about the mind or the intelligence behind or pervading the cosmos. He would compare nature to a grand library full of rational information that we're just scratching the surface of. And one of my favorite all-time statements from Albert Einstein was when he said, "It is a miracle that the universe is comprehensible." And if you unpack that statement, you figure out that it really is quite miraculous that the world is structured in such a way that it can be comprehended through the advanced mathematics of theoretical physics, for example. But not only that, but here we are creatures who are equipped with a fine-tuned rationality that can actually do the advanced mathematics of theoretical physics. So there's this wonderful correlation between the mind of man and the physical world, such that the scientific enterprise is even possible in the first place.
Yeah, what you say about Albert Einstein is absolutely true. And the point here, though, is that here you have Einstein recognizing that there has to be some sort of intelligence, whether he's a pantheist or whatever his philosophy is, he recognizes intelligence, which is something that Neil deGrasse Tyson won't recognize. He rather defers to this, I think, very obscurantist notion that the universe just popped into existence out of nothing.
Right. He believes that something as rational as what we observe, and then human rationality included as a product of that inherent rationality, is just a cosmic accident. So rationality from non-rationality.